Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
Treat your cough seriously with Robitussin CF Max. Nothing lasts longer and treats more symptoms for your cough, cold, and flu. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It will be the result of your subconscious fears transformed to your conscious awareness. Warning, this tape must not be played by government personnel. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat.
Lexi, tell us something interesting.
Okay, the Earth is flat, and a witch stole his pants.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's
Hold on.
foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it. Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
It's definitely the triple digits, but I don't know exactly. It's a ridiculous number. Find that out from Victoria.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery is tired of the clash media. Will he drop or will he stay in? Will democracy be gone? I say where you're going there. Will Trump go to jail? For God's sake, send the aliens already, man. I am with you. I have been saying that for a long time. Hey, welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, this show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Carolina, if it is not July 9th, 2024, the year of the wood dragon, then you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day goes exactly like this. Mark, I don't know if I can do the show tonight. Hurricane Beryl ran over Houston and most of the city is without power. My generator system kicked in, but the internet is spotty. I'm pretty sure you will have to do it without me. To which I respond, let me tell you something, Patricia. I once drove through an ice storm to get the best cell reception on high ground and did the entire show from a frozen car while the rest of this island dwelled in darkness. And yes, growing up, I did have to walk to school in the snow, uphill, both ways, and when I got home, ate the neighbor's dryer lint for dinner because we didn't own a dryer, and ice cubes for dessert sprinkled with sugar. And by sugar, I mean it was mostly sand because my father had no sense of taste. Who said that?
So that's why I'm here. I guess with all that, I said, okay, all right, already. Who said that? Mark K. Sargent.
My co-host is the one, the only, Patricia Lynn Steere. Hey, Patricia, since we're on it and since it's on the thumbnail, why don't you give us a little update of the what happened in Hurricane Beryl since it happened to you?
Hurricane Beryl, yeah, pretty interesting. I'm in Houston, Texas, and it kind of appeared after doing damage elsewhere in other countries, and came right through Houston and whipped up a frenzy. And I didn't lose any trees in this storm. I've had that happen before that have wound up on my roof. But I am still without electricity. Not without power, though, because I've got the power. But I do have a generator behind me that's running and sounds a lot like a lawnmower. It's a full house generator, and it runs on natural gas. And pretty much I can do everything. But earlier, my internet was bad. But that's been rectified. And a neighbor, just when we started the show, when you were drumming, Mark, texted me and said that our street light, which is in front of my house, just came on. So power could be restored, potentially, during this show.
You know, that's good. One, you know, I am glad that you were not really inconvenienced in any way by a hurricane, because Lord forbid that, you know, you would go without something. However, I am a little curious to see what may or may happen, and Peanut may agree with me on this one, that if your power is restored, what will happen when the generator switches back?
The lights will dim, and I think it'll just continue on as normal. There will be less of a no lawnmower sound, but that would be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that happening. I want this to be done and dusted and move on with life, because I went for a drive last night, and I probably
of course you did. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. No, street lights,
darkness,
and
looters,
see the
fires,
damage. And there was a huge tree. I'm talking that if you picture a huge tree trunk, not a small one, huge, across one of the major roads here, across the whole road, and just dark. 2 million plus people without power. 8 people died. So my little petty issues with not having electricity are absolutely nothing compared to all of that. My house is fine, the cats are fine, but it is a pain, of course. But, you know, compared to other people, I did quite well. And I hope everybody gets their electricity back soon, because it's just so hot here, over 90 degrees. It's really unbearable. So enough complaining. All right.
It's not. By the way, just so you guys know, it's not hot where Patricia is right now. She is sitting in a comfortable 75 degrees because she. Yeah, she felt.
I was wondering if you noticed something new about how I look. Something new I'm wearing.
Oh God. Okay, first off, we're not supposed to Yeah,
this top is really nice.
Yes,
isn't it?
the top is wonderful.
That's the new thing. Is this top I'm wearing. Other than that, absolutely.
Nothing to do with an agency hat that in fact, what does it say on the brim of the hat? Oh, really? You're going to go full blown with that, really? In the case they missed the logo. Did you have that hat made up, or did you actually just have the agency send that to you?
Yeah, well, actually, it belongs to Chris Van Maitre, so blame him.
Awesome.
He's my neighbor 4 doors down, and I'm wearing it. I'm going to remove it now, though, because, we don't want hat hair.
Oh, you may have to stick with the hat. Hey, while we're on it.
I recovered.
Hey, Patricia, because you do work for the agency sometimes, it must be hard to find Flat Earth friends. Do you know an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary horizontal level plane?
Not really. Oh, is this where I come in? Yeah, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Look for it today. Download it. It's inexpensive. You'll become a blue dot. You'll love it. You'll meet new people. You could maybe date someone, get married, get divorced, all because of the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock
You
app.
know, she's right on all fronts. It's the perfect gift for friends, family, and complete strangers. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Oh, so sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She just put on her Roger Ramjet pajamas. That's not a porn name in any way. Got a cup of cocoa with exactly six tiny marshmallows, and we'll probably listen to the playback in the morning. Now, I know it's not because that name was created, back in the 60s, It's before, any of that stuff happened, before the San Fernando Valley took over the world.
Ramjet, Jet Puff Marshmallows. Jet.
Yes, there you go. Shout outs obviously to Flat Earther Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to the strong.family, won't you, and pick up some merch. Also shout out, we'll do this every week, to we're still building the show out, so everyone keep calm. Shout out to Zulu One, a long-time listener, probably the longest time listener of the show, for doing a simulcast stream on his channel. Just look up Zulu One. That's ZULUONE.
In all caps.
In all caps. Mailbag. What random stuff did I get in the mail this week? Well, Christian Sanchez, friend of the show, living in Vegas.
No relation to Dirty Sanchez.
Oh my God, really? We're gonna go there. Seriously, nobody look that up. And then click on images. You will not be happy with any of those choices. Okay, got a bunch of DVDs. Let's rattle them off really fast. From the 90s, Train Spotting. With Johnny Lee Miller, who was the first husband of Angelina Jolie. Let's see here. A triple feature. I think this is a Mel Brooks special. History of the World Part 1, Spaceballs, and Young Frankenstein. Rest in peace, Gene Wilder. Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder were good friends. Really good stuff there. Let's see. From Dusk Till Dawn. It was co-directed by Quentin Tarantino, who also starred in it. Oh, crap. Who's the other guy? Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez. George Clooney was in it. One of my favorite George Clooney movies. So from Dusk.
The dance scene in that movie, when I saw it in the theater, not knowing what to expect, totally freaked me out.
They had her gain. They had her gain something like 25 to 30 pounds for that scene. They said, you need to be more voluptuous for this. And so she worked out, gained weight, and I mean, you look at her thighs, and I think she was full-bodied. She was absolutely.
But she wasn't.
No. She was super sexy. But it was I loved that movie. I did. And it was two completely different movies. The first half was directed by Tarantino. The second by Rodriguez. And I'm a big vampire fan. Anyway, thank you again for sending me The Lost Boys yet again. This is about the third or fourth copy I've got of.
It's a classic.
Classic.
Can't ever have enough.
Not a lot of 80s vampire films, but.
And how come The Lost Boys has never been Mandela'd?
Good point. Don't know.
Oh yeah, wait. Didn't it used to be spelled Boyz?
No, that was a 90s thing. That came later. And by the way, my favorite vampire movie from the 80s would have been Fright Night. Big Fright Night fan. With Chris Sarandon, who was, let people know, Susan Sarandon's brother, who was an actor. Fish, got some music stuff there. So if you're a Fish fan, there's some concert footage of.
Get that off the screen. Can't even stand to look at it.
So it shall be, says the Queen. Let's see here. This is a quad feature. This is Funhouse, Phantasm 2, The Serpent and the Rainbow, and literally the title is just a bunch of S's. So that's kind of fun. Yeah.
Scary, right?
Yeah, it's all horror movies. And then two, these really kind of piqued my interest. One, Journey Greatest Hits DVD, 1978 to 1997. If you were ever a Journey fan, and I know that the guys from South Park rail on Journey and Steve Perry whenever they can, the lead singer of Journey. But I got to tell you, look, I grew up in that era, and one point for several years in a row, Journey was the number one band in the world. You know, let's put it this way. When Escape came out, and you remember this, Patricia, when Escape came out, you couldn't escape it. It was freaking everywhere.
Right,
unfortunately. It hit at the complete right time, and it just crushed it in the rock circles. Of course, I'm not I dislike them intently. However, or would that be intensely? Well, either one of those. They're both fun.
Yeah. I don't like. And, but I understand they're hit makers, they're machines, and a lot of people love them. And hey,
yeah, and they're still doing it. Steve Perry, of course, was replaced by that Asian guy who actually does a Steve Perry impersonation better than Steve himself, which is just freaking frightening. And he's young, so he'll be doing that till the other band members are dead. And my favorite Bradley Cooper movie, Limitless. About better living through chemistry, which is like taking the ultimate form of Ritalin, which makes you smarter and even delves, your brain expands so much you delve into ESP and all sorts of stuff.
Okay, if you were offered it, would you take it?
Oh, that's a tough call. Well, before the movie, before watching the movie, no. After watching the movie, yeah, I probably would.
I've not watched the movie, but if there were such a thing, my natural inclination would be to say no. However, if you didn't, you might miss out on something, and you never know.
I know Bradley Cooper got a lot of awards for other things, but to me, that was my favorite movie. That was his show. I thought he did a fantastic job. Let's see, meetups. Oh boy, we got a bunch. Whew. And I'm just going to rattle them off as fast as I can. Flat Earth Hollywood is doing a live meetup to coincide with Fly Me to the Moon movie. That's July 12th in Los Angeles. He also says, please mention that the Southern California Flat Earth Meetup Group is going to gather and continue with street activism on Hollywood Boulevard, as it would be fun to draw a crowd and make a scene down there. I think they will basically toss us from the area, eventually have us move away. That's kind of fun. The next Oklahoma meetup will occur Saturday, July 20th. That's one of Jesse's from 6 to 9 p.m. at Red Rock Canyon Grill. That's 9221 Lake Hefner Parkway, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You can RSVP him by calling Jesse at 781-857-9175 or email him at 300kmileprius@gmail.com. There's a meetup in Wisconsin, July 27th. That promo is on my channel. There is a Flat Earth meetup West UK, July 30th. Dave Murphy will be there live. If you missed Dave at the Las Vegas conference that we did last year, please, if you're in the UK, catch him. All you have to do is email Ian and the contact information on that one. Flat Earth Utah Stargazing Campout Fireside Jamboree, longest title we have this week. That's going to be August 2nd through the 4th. Flat Earth Meetup Atlantic City, New Jersey, September 13th. I can't remember who's going to be there. Maybe Alex Lowry, but I wouldn't go just because of Alex Lowry. He's just not that great. And Flattoberfest, Spartanburg, South Carolina, September 27th through the 29th. You can check that out at flatearthfestivals.com. Yeah. So, with that being said,
you know what? We sorry to interrupt you. We set up this screen today to provide a cat cam view of the cats on the psychiatrist's chair, and there's no cats.
That's all right. Eventually, well, you know what? You may have to put some bait there sooner or later. A toy, a piece of kibble, a catnip leaf.
They're not food motivated.
Do you have any catnip plants? Peanut says mice, but I don't think Patricia allows them to have mice. And I don't know if we're even allowed to show that. It would be look, I grew up with a number of cats, and our cats, there was a lot of field mice on this island, and the crunching alone drove me nuts. It scarred me. Oh yeah.
Ew. Well, there is a cat right here, close to where we are, sitting on the table where I am. And the other two cats are around, and maybe they'll show up. But that is the official cat cam view, which hopefully will provide a cat.
Patricia, while I'm setting up headlines, do you have anybody in chat you want to shout out?
Yes, that's what I wanted to do. Hi to Oxbow Spirit and Terry Hayes, Daryl Davis, Lord Racer, Nicola Motors, who says, nice hat, LOL. Tom Budis, Half Tater, says the Patricia CIA. What the hell?
That's an advertisement for this thing. Hang on. Good Lord. Well, how did that jump to that? That isn't.
It's like a really literally.
Well,
naked
no.
woman
It's
with,
from the.
lavender lingerie.
It's from livemint.com. Apparently, if you leave it on their screen long enough, they switch to advertisements. Anyway, it wasn't porn. I'm okay.
It wasn't porn. It's a normal advertisement. And nobody saw a thing, did they?
It's always something.
Hi to Adam.
Look, there's still more advertisements. Go ahead, keep going.
Justin Johnson, Zulu one, we already mentioned you. Did I already say Anders Ace? Hi to you. Daryl Davis already said that. Chris W., Chris Van Maitre, Rob Kin, almost done here. Jason Bray, 16 Alpha V, who says, I like the ad. And Justin Johnson, and anyone else. And Sufanelli, hello. And hi to any and all trolls. I don't care what you think about as long as you keep thinking about me. And yeah, that's it. Let's get on with the show.
Okay, I'd like to explain really quick. I'm never going to this site again for headlines.
Naked top. Look. Or, well,
no,
naked,
but that's where it came
wearing
from. Somehow it's like, oh yeah, you've left our site idle long enough. We're just going straight to the advertisements, make it full screen. Whatever.
Right. You know, when I think of Sunita Williams, I think of skimpy lingerie. So I think it's a. Okay, maybe you don't.
No, I can't get that image out of my head. Okay, so this one's from livemint.com, the only time I'm ever going to go to livemint.com. And that is Sunita Williams' return to Earth may take months. NASA likely to extend the project, right? So I want to scroll down here, get past her.
Wait, aren't they like in space?
Yeah, they went to the space station.
Underground here on Earth, but aren't they supposed to be in space?
Yeah, exactly. And they're treating it like it's no big deal. And I'll explain. The Boeing Starliner project.
Just leave them up there a little longer. Meanwhile, they're like, help us, get us out of
here.
That
was expected to last only a few days will now take more time, as the first test with 2 astronauts on board is in limbo, without any announcement of exact date on return to Earth. This means that Indian origin, really? Sunita Williams, who has been stuck in space, may take a few months to return to Earth, which begs the question, so do we not have any life support specs on this station? You can just hang out, for the summer. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
It is weird because all of this is planned out ahead of time. And these 2 astronauts, accent on the not, do know how long this mission would take and how long they'll have to remain underground in a bunker,
Right.
etc. But when you look at it as if it's all real, the way that NASA is handling it, they're handling it as if they do not have any sort of secondary plans, backup plans, life support plans, which makes you wonder why people aren't saying something about this, the casual public who is watching this happen.
It has bugged me since day one. Every time I see like a group shot where they like have 11 or 12 astronauts all at once, in the shot on the SS, I'm going, okay, you have to tell me there is a limitation to how many people can be in here. I mean, if you watch science fiction at all, when they're really strict, it's like, oh yeah, this space mission can only support 6 people or 4 people. We've calculated exactly how much oxygen and nitrogen and all the other stuff. But it's like, oh no, they just hang out there all the time, which also gets tied into Apollo. One of the things that's always bugged me, which is if you know anybody that's ever scuba dived, which is the only thing that scuba divers ever care about, is that giant oxygen gauge, which is how many minutes do I have left underwater. They're absolutely nuts about it. They're just constantly staring at it. It's like when they get to like 8 minutes or when they get to single digits, they head back up to the surface. That's all it is. Find me an audio recording of an astronaut that cared about the oxygen content that they had with those backpacks.
Especially when they were riding around on a Jeep they put together themselves with those big gloves on, which is impossible. Riding around on the moon surface and playing golf, using up oxygen because those are aerobic activities.
And if your Jeep breaks down miles from the capsule, you're going to have to hoof it back. At no point did they say, oh, hey, man, we only got like 23 minutes of air left. Or they would ask each other, it's like, how much air you have left? It was like unlimited. Absolutely unlimited air in 1969. Whatever. Not buying it. Trolls, please.
Those were magic
Trolls,
times.
please tell me how that happens. Next one down. NASA, this is from sciencealert.com, which means it's absolutely positively true. NASA reveals images of large asteroids that just sailed past Earth.
Wait, that looks like a corn nut, but pixelized.
It does.
If anyone's seen
And
a
by the way,
cornut,
that's a
what it
great
looks
shot, and that's a 2024 image. It's like, wow, that's some high res there, man. No pixelation at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, but not one, but two passed within hailing distance. What exactly is hailing distance in space?
Hailing distance is where you can say, "Hey, hey."
Neither.
So who would be hailing it?
Neither one of them were named. Came close enough to pose a hazard. Okay, so they weren't a hazard, but both were within range of radar imaging systems. So NASA got a few happy snaps to mark the occasion. Oh, who wrote this? Oh, Michelle Starr. She spelled it with two R's.
It's got to be like a bot. There's been some bad writing here, especially Indian origin and hailing distance.
Here's some more corn nuts for you.
Look, more corn nuts. Getting hungry.
I used to eat a lot of corn nuts, but now I worry, because
I think actually, I'm joking. I think they're kind of gross, aren't they?
They're not. When you see the making of corn nuts, it's not exactly wonderful. I mean, yeah, you get.
When you see anything except
it was a
cake,
it was a 70s treat for me, which was, if you wanted the ultimate crunchy, oh yeah, corn nuts. It was so
That's
loud
true,
you couldn't hear yourself think. But anyway, next one down. Oh yeah, we're gonna tie into the asteroid yet again, which is if it
Boy, that looks so real. That image.
Oh, I'm sure this is a real shot. As it happens, we're all extinct. Asteroid hitting Earth, a real possibility. Must prepare, says the ISRO chief to News 18. Oh, come on.
There's no preparing if this were real.
And by the way, there is one movie that got it right, which was in all the movies, like they tell people ahead of time, and NASA's doing live streams. It's like, we're keeping you updated, letting you know, right? But I remember in 2012, the movie, which was when in the trailer, it's a really dark trailer, the movie with John Cusack, which was, what would the government do, basically do if they knew this was, some doomsday thing? They wouldn't tell you. There's no point in telling you. They would never going to say, oh yeah, by the way, contrary to the movies that we've done over the last several decades, we're not going to tell you if an asteroid's coming. There's no point.
But luckily, we know it's not.
No, it's not.
So.
I will never lose sleep over an asteroid again. Globers, please lose all the sleep you want. So yeah. They're giving all the numbers. It's like, if an asteroid hits, it's going to be terrible. Watch Armageddon, watch Deep Impact, watch These Final Hours. These Final Hours, which is an Australian movie, was absolutely wonderful in that regard.
These movies are fun and good to watch, and once you know, and it's not going to program you. But when you're unaware, those things can scare the heck out of you, especially young children, and make them just be afraid, same way as a nuclear weaponry would make people be afraid. And people are still talking about, Russia's going to nuke the U.S., China's going to blah, blah, blah. And have no fear. There is nothing nothing to fear. Well, there's things to fear, but not any
Two quick
of
comments. One, of course, Peanut says, Don't Look Up, the movie, which was kind of a comedy parody movie about what happens if there was a big... Oh, yeah, and Making Friends. Was it Making Friends at the End of the World with Steve Carell and Keira Knightley?
Looking
for a friend at the end of the... Yeah, that was actually a pretty funny movie. But again, These Final Hours. You want to watch a realistic why you don't tell the public? Watch the Australian film These Final Hours. Freaking haunting. And it was shot in Australian sun. Just constant sunlight. I mean, it's a beautiful setting, but wow, it was wild. And sorry, to your comment, Patricia. The only way the United States is going to be taken down is if everybody hits us
from the inside. Happening now.
There's that. But that and a combination of anyone, Peanut would agree with this, all our enemies would have to attack us simultaneously. Like everyone in the after school specials that came after the bully at the same time in the schoolyard. And then there was nothing because the bully couldn't pivot fast enough and deal with everybody. That's the only way it's going to happen. Just letting you guys know.
If there were real enemies, they're really actually behind the scenes all on the same page with us.
Yeah, I think there's a few. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah. We can worry about things like, car wrecks, getting an injury, cutting vegetables in your kitchen. Right. There's lots of things like that to worry about. But the big things they tell us to worry about are not things to worry about.
Let's do one more before the break, our first break, which is from Independent. This is a UK thing. Scientists discover, again, the UK believes everything we say about space. And I've asked them when I was over in the UK, it's like, why do you guys believe the Americans? Again, the Americans wouldn't lie about something like that. Do you not know us at all? We lied about our basically our entire history. Scientists discover moss can grow on Mars. The desert plant offers big boost for making the red planet habitable.
Which will never happen.
Yeah. This is moss
ever.
supposedly that can survive the extreme conditions of Mars. Scientists have discovered. Yeah.
A light in the sky can't grow moss.
It's not going to happen. Okay, we're going to our first break.
Nor can Rolling Stone.
When we come back, we will do futurism.com, talking about NASA's crap, and go from there. So let's do our first break.
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius. To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name. Add a photo. Enter your contact information. Create a group chat name and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community. Select Public Group. Add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see. To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both. Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.
Join me, Karen B, every moon day at 9:30 a.m. for Coffee Talk on YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. You never know what you'll learn about in the coffee shop. Open topic and open phones, y'all. You can also go to flatearthfestivals.com for updates on the latest news for Flattoberfest 2024 and also for meetups, local meetups. If you want to have your meetup listed on flatearthfestivals.com for free, please email flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 4. It's you, me, the always beautiful Patricia Steere with her cats. And yeah, sometimes Peanut. He's actually a real person. He's not just an icon that's dancing, or he's walking up in the corner, upper right-hand corner of the screen, in case you're wondering why there's a...
I think that's a stroll, actually.
It's not speed walking, but yeah, it's more of a stroll. Yeah.
Yeah. Strolling Peanut.
It's the...
Stroll. Smoking
it's the planter's nuts cousin, I believe. He's not doing as well.
Smoking, giant soft drink, guzzling Peanut. The brains of the operation, actually.
He is the brains of the operation. Yeah,
It's a fact.
That's true. Okay, where were we? We were covering more NASA crap, and then we'll get to non-mess. Hang on.
Everyone like the cat cam? Did anyone like it? Did anyone notice it?
Oh, hey, you know what?
Look,
Hey,
there's
you
a
know what?
cat-
That was Joe. Thank you, Peanut. That's why he's there. That is why he gets paid the big money. And we have to renegotiate his contract every year. Hey, you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album. Patricia.
Oh, Night and Day. Night and Day.
Oh, we're just nailing it tonight.
I was just reading the chat to say hi to Salted Cedar, Chris W, Chicago Artist, Gregory May, Crescent Moon Relaxing Music, and that's Krista O, and hi to everyone else.
Right on.
Okay, back to NASA.
Yeah, this is from
unfortunately.
Futurism.com. NASA praises Boeing's stranded Starliner for managing not to explode while docked to space station. Again, if the highlight of your program is not exploding, that is not a good sign. People who fund these guys, come on. You can't have lowered the bar so much. It's like, well, it didn't catch fire. That's...
What about a surgeon who's performing open heart surgery? You're a great surgeon. That patient didn't die. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's got brain damage. Oh, yeah, but he's still alive. Wow. Yeah. So and again, the two astronauts that we're apparently not going to turn this into Apollo. I thought initially they were going to turn into like Apollo 13, where it's like, can we get these brave people home? Apparently they don't care.
What's their angle? What are they going to do? What have they got planned for us?
I don't know. 2 months? It's like, oh no, we're just going to hang out here for 2 months and do nothing. I don't know. This story just bugs me. It just freaking bugs me. All right, next one down. Meanwhile, the Chinese can't do anything wrong on their space station. Remember, this is from India Today. Chinese astronauts set new record, complete 16 spacewalks aboard the Tiangong space station.
Now, is that a visual that we have, which from the Tiangong space station?
Yes.
That looks really legit.
It does, doesn't it? Because I'm sure the Earth curvature. Remember, they're supposedly only, a couple hundred miles up? Supposedly. I'm sure the curvature should be that severe.
It looks like that machiny thing on the right is like taking a bite out of the machiny thing on the left that looks like it's smoking a cigar.
Supposedly, it's a loop. It's a very short loop, by the way.
Right, but what is it?
I think it's an astronaut on the right-hand side over here where my cursor is, and on the left-hand side, I don't know. I don't care. It's all a lie anyway. I mean, again, the Chinese all of a sudden create their own version of the ISS in 18 months with no time lapse of it, no proof that they built it.
And no photo of its construction. No photo of the ISS construction. But there are photos about the construction of this house that I'm in.
Yeah. Again, a teenage girl will walk into the bathroom, take 30 photos with the bathroom mirror. You can do 18 months, build an entire space station, not take a single shot of it. Anyone buying that? Yeah, me neither.
How do they say they do it? That they shoot the parts up in a shuttle and then robots put it together? They've got to have
No, they just gloss
journal how they
just gloss over it. It just happened. It's like, oh no, we're done with the space station. Really? Are you going to talk about? No, we're not. We're moving on. That was so 10 minutes ago. We're just
it's kind of like Lego, or they're magnetically attracted. How do they put it together?
It is movie plotline logic, which is if you can create enough shiny things a few minutes after the fact, people won't. In fact, who was it? J.J. Abrams was notorious for that. And he even said so. He's like, oh, no, I'll just dazzle them a few minutes later. They won't even remember what they were worried about prior. And it's like, wait, but how did
But I always notice plot holes, and I always bring them up after a movie is done to the person I'm with who said, you just quit saying that stuff. Can't you just enjoy the movie? And really, no, I hate plot holes because it just needs clever writing to write around the situation and make it make sense. And they've not made it make sense with NASA.
No, writing is primary for me. I'm a writer myself. I enjoy good writing, and I hate bad writing. I hate lazy writing. Because again, I don't think I coined this, but if you have too many plot holes, the storyboat sinks. And that's why people, when they're at movies, it's like, I couldn't finish watching the movie. It's like, why? Well, because I didn't buy into it anymore. Yes, exactly. Because there were some logic gaps that you couldn't overcome. And the bar, though, has been lowered and lowered and lowered to where the general public, they're just munching popcorn and drinking soda and going,
Well, the bar's been lowered, not just with movies, but with pretty much everything. So in
Everything.
a way,
Music, television,
Oh, it's
movies, Broadway shows, everything. I mean, Broadway's.
But there are some good things about now. Let's think of some good things about now and our technology. Actually, although they're the bane of many of our existences, having cell phones, like the idea or not, Mark, I know you're not big into it, they do provide a method of communication that doesn't involve you having to have quarters or whatever, dimes in your pocket and touching a disgusting phone attached to a cord by the side of the road where somebody could come out and rape you or rob you.
Cell phones are a double-sided sword, to be sure. I'm old enough, I remember the tech rooms when the cell phones were first coming out. Actually, even before the cell phones were coming out, I saw the chat messaging that was happening between people that were sitting within 6 feet of each other. And I'm going, all you have to do is turn around and talk to them. You don't have to start, but that was the slippery slope, which was what kills me is because it's emotionally easier, which is, it takes me a lot longer to use my thumbs and type out a message and put in an emoji to make sure I get the right inflection. But at the same time, there are entire relationships that go from cradle to grave through texting. I won't do it. It's a form of protest on my side. It's like, look, I'm Gen X, baby. Ain't doing it.
I've kind of broken up with people over the cell phone. Well, it's not broken up. It's like one date, and then I'm like, okay, well, that was really fun. Bye. And I leave in my own car. And then when I get in my car, a couple of minutes after he's driven away, I'll say, hi, John. It was really fun. I enjoyed meeting you. Thanks again. However, I don't think we're a fit. And using the cell phone is better than doing it in person, but it's only seconds after the date.
I see, Patricia. My only disagreement there with you is I don't consider Tinder to be dates. So if you do, that's fine. But what I just don't hear people talking about Tinder right that way. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. Patricia would never lower herself to that, or Grindr for that matter either. That was a cat sighting, by the way. I just saw a cat.
Yeah, there was one there. That is a black cat sighting.
Let's rip through the rest of these. This is from weather.com, the space section. Scientists emerged from a dome. Again, this was a Pauly Shore movie back in the day. In Hawaii after completing a year-long Mars simulation. So they went into a biodome for an entire year pretending that they were going to be on Mars. What's the saying? Hey, it's good work if you can get it. And there you go.
I mean, these are real scientists probably doing real things. This is unlike the NASA, the crews that are aboard the quote-unquote ISS. Yeah. So they are doing real things, I guess.
But whatever.
I mean, they're not faking whatever they're doing.
But the mission's never going to happen. So you just spent a year.
Right,
you have never.
They're being.
You will never solve the fuel problem. In fact, let's go to the next one, which is from Forbes magazine. In photos, NASA reveals the spacecraft to take 4 humans to the moon. Because they can't say men anymore. In fact, apparently they can't even say persons. They have to say humans. There it is. Wow, it looks just like the last one we did back in the 60s. And here are the...
But this one's green. Weird. Oh, no, it's not green.
Here are the people that they're thinking of sending, which is the Artemis 2 crew, which is never going to do anything, ticking off all sorts of boxes, including a Canadian.
What are they doing? Planting a tree or burying?
I know. As soon as I saw this, it's like, okay, you're digging your grave a little early, aren't you guys? Is that some foreshadowing about what's? I know you're just breaking ground, but come on.
So what do we have? We've got a woman. We've got a man, tall. We've got a black man, and then we've got a
Canadian.
That's
Canadian.
A Canadian, not called actually a man.
No. Yeah, Canadian's a completely separate demographic. So, whatever. These guys aren't going anywhere. Artemis, you're not going anywhere. And by the way, here's a shot from apparently Artemis 1. And again, that looks totally real. And the thing I like to point out to everybody, again, you trolls in the chat room, please, where are the stars? 2024, they're not using film anymore. This is an exposure setting. They went supposedly to the moon and back. The probe did. Not a single star. Where are they? You know why you can't show them? Because you can't line up the constellations with the date and time stamp. It's too difficult.
Now, somebody told me there is some NASA footage where they're putting stars in, and I didn't see it, but I heard somebody
show me
in the chat, or I read
run it through a star tracker.
Anybody in this chat know if there's been any fake stars put in fake NASA
Maybe.
footage. I think I heard.
Okay,
happening.
we're leaving space for a little bit. And then I do want to, if we have time, I think we got time. I want to read an email that somebody sent to me.
If we get one more ad with a put this on your toilet seat, put this on your doorknob, these weird, everyone knows these ads that come up. If you follow the rabbit trail and click on those and go and go and go, you will never find out why you should put tin foil on your door handle in a hotel. And I've never seen anybody do it.
No.
Suspend a bag with pennies and water above your door.
No. Being on...
You follow that and you'll get...
I go into enough media things, when you start seeing the same snake oil thing, which is why they ban it from YouTube, except for advertisements. You can't put it in a video, but you can put it in advertisements. This one trick, drink this before you go to bed, and you will shed pounds immediately. It's like, and everybody's got a different thing. And we'll tell you what it is. All you have to do is send us postage and handling. So we're going to follow up really quick because the presidential seal wasn't in the thumbnail, which is Democrats start moving to Harris as Biden digs in. This is a bunch of crap. Nobody wants Harris. This is the least painful option for them in terms of logistics, which was, okay, let's just go to the VP. We don't have to worry about a fight on the floor in the convention. We'll just move her forward. And of course, quietly behind the scenes, all the Democrats and all the Republicans are going, you're not serious, are you? You can't actually be moving forward with her. I mean, she slept her way to this position to begin with. She's not qualified.
Did she really? That's what people say, heels up Harris.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it true?
I mean, that nickname didn't come out of anywhere. I mean, from day one, all the way.
Well, I mean, as a woman, I guess if that's what you want to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on.
it.
It's not a new, it's an old trick. Old tricks are the best tricks.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, which is sleeping your way to the top applies to just about every corporation, there's all sorts of examples.
But she didn't sleep with Joe. Not that he remembers anyway.
Anyway, they're thinking about it. We'll talk about this. We'll go with this.
Look how tan he looks. Tan in a can, man. Orange can also bad. This orange.
Peanut and I were talking about this at some length before the show, and I want to get into it for a minute, which is. And I made a video I put on my channel called that Biden is going to replicate what LBJ did in 1968. The VP for Kennedy who ended up running for president.
It's a good video. I'm glad you put that out there because whether or not it happens, the fact that you think it's going to happen and you're standing behind it enough to actually put it on your channel, that's cool. I like that.
It's a safe move on their part, which is, it's what I would do, which is people don't remember that LBJ, who didn't want to have the Vietnam War completely tied to his campaign, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to run for re-election. Good night, everybody. And he was out of there. He made himself a lame duck president. Look it up if you get a chance. It's a real term. And he ended up just walking out of the Oval Office. He wasn't even in there like 2 minutes. It was over. And at that point, somebody else had to run. I think it was it Barry Goldwater? I think he ended up, but anyway, Richard Nixon took it. And Richard Nixon, they had to hang the Vietnam War right on him. And then he ended up getting impeached and the whole thing turned into a big fiasco. And what was interesting, though, was LBJ ended up dying in 73. Ironically enough, he wouldn't even have made it anyway. He was already on death's door by the time the war was ending. So
this might make somebody out there who knows a lot more about history than me laugh at me, but I'm fine with that. Have there been presidents who have died while in office aside from JFK and Lincoln?
Oh man, yeah, Peanut's gonna look it up. I think Garfield. Yeah, there's been a couple assassinations. High profile. There was only 2.
Joke.
But there were a couple other presidents that had assassination attempts, and there was a couple other that had illnesses. Back in the day, when just about anything could kill you. Oh, look, I put my hand on a nail.
But I just mean straight up, like, fell asleep and died of a heart attack while in bed. Without any...
Yeah, there's Harrison. Yeah, 1841. Zachary Taylor. Yeah, these are all in the 1800s. Lincoln.
Okay, these are the ones I knew I would
Garfield,
never remember. So.
Yep, got that one.
Oh, look what's on the screen now. Liquid death. Sparkling water advertising.
Nobody recent. The only modern day presidents, FDR, of course, died during his 3rd term, complications, I believe, from polio. He was never a good.
See, there's so much I don't know, and I admitted it.
But after JFK, nobody. So, but here's my point. I want to get this out there before we still got time, which is, okay. there's two roads that are going to happen now going to the election. Remember, the Republican campaign or the convention is going to be on the 19th. It's coming up really, really quick. And that's going to be a mix of celebration and uncertainty because they don't know what the hell's going on. But if they move forward, if the blue team moves forward with Biden, right, they are essentially going what I call towards the purge path, which is if you put somebody in there that nobody knows or nobody's sure about, like, I don't know, Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or any of the others, the Republicans won't know what to do, and it's like an unknown. And if you lose to an unknown, it's like, well, you didn't know what to expect anyway. But if you move forward with Biden, which they're kind of hinting at, and then Biden wins, well, then you've got a real problem on your hands, because then red team has nothing to lose, because you're basically telling the Republican Party. So let's go all the way to November with Biden, right? They go and everyone will say, well, there's no way Biden can win, and he wins. It's one thing to assume that the election is rigged. It's a whole nother thing to know it's rigged. If you know it's rigged, you're committed to the idea, and at that point, people start burning stuff down. And you're telling a whole bunch of rednecks, I'm not picking, you're telling a whole bunch of rednecks it's like, hey, wind up and get drunk early, because the day after the election, you may be driving into the back of somebody's truck, with a wife beater on and, some hats and some horns and a whole bunch of guns. So that's where I think it's going. It's one of two things, which is why I say if they want to make the smart move, he goes on television the next week, 2 at most, because remember, next Friday is the convention for Red Team. And he comes on, does an LBJ, says, you know what? I'm not going for re-election. I'll give my endorsement at a later date. Good night, everybody. And that's it. He can sit in the desk. He doesn't have to walk off like LBJ did, because, LBJ was in pretty good walking condition. So that's where I think we'll go with this.
I just wonder who's the person that has to go into a enclosed room or shower with Joe Biden and spray him down with the fake tan. And I hope they get paid a lot, because that would just be one disgusting
I
job.
think it would be the different guy than the one that has to go in with a loofah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's true, because you do need to exfoliate before you put on the fake tan.
Anyway, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep you posted. But remember, next week, 3 days after our next show, that is Red Team Convention. I'm going to be watching that. Okay, we got 3 Clown Worlds. This one's kind of fun for me. Elon Musk's plan for Tesla in India are on hold. The CEO has already scrapped a plan to visit New Delhi and meet Prime Minister Modi. And that's because the India, they're not dumb people. They're looking at it's like, oh, yeah, electric cars. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working out too well in other countries, including America. So we're going to hold back on you mass-producing electric cars here. So good for India. Bad for Elon. Anytime he fails at all, I love, even though he's a puppet. I still like puppets crashing and burning from time to time, and he is number one on my
He's on the world stage for a reason, though. Maybe does this sort of Willy Wonka fantasy character. There's something. He's kind of Iron Man-ish as well.
Well, again, I'm so glad they didn't say it, but he's almost Tony Stark. That's what they were pushing him to be.
Yeah,
Tony Stark, which is the Robert Downey Jr. character from the Avengers, and luckily, he was in a freaking Iron Man movie. He made a cameo in an Iron Man movie.
Yeah, and the reason I said the Willy Wonka, even behind a moment ago on screen, he had purple behind him. I don't know. They're programming us with these archetypes for a reason, and people don't notice them on a overt level. It's very subliminal.
Yep.
So.
Okay, 2 more Clown Worlds. This one is something that I have been wanting to happen on the internet for a long time, and I know you freedom people out there. It's like the internet should be free and unregistered. It's like, yeah, until you know a lot of guys. Look, porn is a big thing. It's been out there for a long time, and young men as young as puberty or even before, they get exposed to it, and sometimes bad things happen. So Spain is trying to crack down on this. and they're trying to limit the amount of porn. So what they are doing, I'm going to read these first 3 paragraphs. The residents of Spain who wish to access online porn will soon have to use a government-issued phone app with a digital ID code and a limited number of credits. The move comes after Dale Vulenta, an anti-porn group campaigning for tighter regulations, released statistics showing the alarming spread of porn among minors. It's been out there forever, but whatever. The data...
But I mean, even in the people used to just get their dads like Playboy magazines and stuff back in the day.
I mean, there's always a way, but the internet has made it so incredibly easy. So again, the Spanish media have done it. The Pajaporte, a play on the words translating as masturbation pass, kind of funny. It's expected to become available by the end of the summer. I am going to watch this because my biggest worry about the internet has always been the lack of registration, which is, again, kind of like trolls. Trolls can come on, create an online alias, and say anything they want. And
do you mean regulation? Or
yeah,
you said
well, it's both.
Well, I guess you mean
registration is regulation. And I know people are saying, oh, that's a terrible idea. It's like, really? Because it would stop this. And it would limit trolls.
Well,
if trolls have to have an...
I don't know. I'm against it. I'm against it.
That's fine.
Freedom.
Apparently, Patricia really enjoys porn. Okay, so last but not least, she does. Yeah, she really does. This is from CNN Health, and this is my last Clown World. Before we do, I do want to read one article, and I think we have time.
Oh, this is coming.
Oh, yeah, this is going to happen, which is, look, they've been selling the hell out of Ozempic. Celebrities have endorsed it. Ozempic face, not bad enough to stop people. But it's like, oh, hey, they look actually pretty good with Ozempic face. Well, not everybody. Okay, get this.
Tied in with Weight Watchers
popular
as well.
Weight loss and diabetes drugs linked to increased risk of rare, whenever you hear rare, you be worried, rare form of blindness, which is an optical stroke that causes sudden, painless vision loss in one eye. So, are you willing to roll those dice? And they're saying, oh, condition is relatively rare, up to 10 out of 100,000 people. Okay, I don't buy those numbers for a second. I just think in the end, it's going to mess with people's pancreas.
I think it's going to mess with a lot of stuff. The drug that it affects, and it causes you to not feel like you're not hungry. And it's just unnatural. Your body's not meant to have this. And this one called Mounjaro is the one that leads to the most weight loss. And I don't know. I just think it's a bad idea overall.
You've been warned. I don't want people emailing me and saying...
And again, what if you're 500 pounds? What if you're a My 500-pound life person? Maybe for those people, they might need to do that for a while. But then again, once you can't stop taking it.
No, you can't. You can, but the weight's going to come back instantly. Once you start taking it, you have to take it forever. Kind of like Viagra,
and you're shooting this into your stomach too.
Yeah, again.
For the rest of your damn life. Now, if you have diabetes, yes, you are doing it then too. Different situation. This is just because you ate like a couple of, extra large pan pizzas every night. So maybe don't eat that. You'll be okay.
Sorry. Peanut wants me to change to the thumbnail while I read this, and I will do that.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to say hi to the chat. Hello to Natalie Wrangler. How are you? And I saw somebody else in here that I wanted to say hi to. Oh, so many people in here right now. I've lost. Don't Follow Crumb. Met Don't Follow Crumb the other night when we were in Jaren's VIP hangout. And I,
that went well.
So I loved his background. It just looks like the quintessential musician's home in New Orleans that I've seen. So he seems pretty cool. And I did join Jaren's VIP after that show. It's $15 a month. And even if you never do a single thing and never participate in anything, it's just cool to give him the money because he's doing the Lord's work when it comes to flat Earth, and he deserves it.
All right, real quick email. This is a Canadian guy who worked for an internet service provider. And he was talking about, he goes, it's an important thing to know about longer wavelength signals travel further before degrading, but can't carry a lot of data. Shorter wavelengths can carry more data, but can't travel as far. We would offer 100 megabit connections, but the customer had to be within a half mile of the tower. We could do 50 megs at 2 to 3 miles, 20 megs at 5 to 10, etc. Until we got down to 5 or 2 megabyte connections about 20 miles. However, after about a year of doing that, his company got bought out by another company that offered both tower-based and satellite connection, so I had to go through another round of training. The training booklets were filled with hand-drawn, not even CGI, cartoons of satellites, right? And they were saying that when it came to the science, all the rules we learned about the limitations of tower-based communications disappeared, and suddenly sending a signal 24,000 miles without degradation was no problem. He goes, I can't see why the direction the signal is beamed should change the physical laws that make the signals degrade, so the maximum distance shouldn't be more than the maximum distance horizontally. So I thought I'd have a bit of fun with the trainer, and I pretended like I was having a hard time understanding. So I asked him this. I go, if the furthest we can transmit data from a tower is about 20 miles, how are we able to communicate with a satellite an extra 24,000 miles? He stumbled and said, oh, well, we use a longer wavelength, so it goes further. And he goes, yeah, but I thought the longer wavelength couldn't carry as much data. He goes, well, I know. I mean, we use a shorter wavelength. And then I say, yeah, but the shorter wavelength doesn't travel as far. At this point, he got flustered and said, well, we just crank the power up high enough to get it there. And then he just kept changing the topic, which again, we've heard from many different people in different disciplines that say, they just say, well, if it works, it works. We don't care how it happens.
Right. It's like getting through the Van Allen radiation belts. Well, we just went real fast.
Exactly. And that's what the guy mentioned that in the email. He goes, very similar to the Van Allen question. How'd you get past the belts? It's like, oh, we just went really, really fast. It's like, yeah.
Step on it.
Yeah. People, they don't understand. Anyway, we are going to go to our second break. When we come back, we're going to take your phone calls. The phone number, which is on screen, is 848-222-2480. And we may or may not have a cat sighting in the meantime.
There is one right now.
Well, that's tough because we are... Oh, yeah, there's a cat.
With peaches and cream.
Don't forget to customize your Flat Earth Clock referral code and wake up more minds out of the Matrix. Now your referral points earn DOME cryptocurrency tokens on the Pulse chain. Enter your MetaMask wallet address and all your previous and future referrals will automatically earn DOME coins. In the next few months, there will be an airdrop to all users that have referral points in their account and have entered their MetaMask wallet address. Any users that have referrals and do not have their wallet address added will forfeit their tokens, and they will be divided up between all of the people who have a wallet address added. Some cryptocurrencies are proof of work, some are proof of stake. DOME is proof of mine. By waking people up to our amazing flat realm, you are mining DOME coins. Become a DOME whale and wake up the world.
Have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Because you can see the stars.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon.
It's not black and white. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots.
Space is fake AF. Space is fake AF.
There's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
you see the gas.
Puppet don't let it. Said the sky was not the limit. He fly to the moon in another second. But we haven't been back.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. It's you and me, the always perfect Patricia Steere. And, hey, Peanut. Don't forget him. He's around, doing his thing. All right, phone number to call in is 848-222-2480. You know, what's funny is I was looking for the phone number. It's like, oh, right. It's right there. It's on the screen. 848...
888-222-2480. Call now. Operators are not standing by. You're on your own.
No, that's not true. It's me. I'm the operator.
Are you the
operator? Well,
operator?
Peanut actually is the operator, too. Because Peanut...
All right, operators are standing by then.
You know, and I should probably pull up the phone lines. Duh.
And people should call in if they've never called in before.
Yes, by all means. If you haven't, I almost guarantee Patricia will talk to you. If you call in, you've never called in before.
And they might not call then.
No, there are people. Yeah, well, there's people. It's like, I'm not worthy. You never know. And by the way, I can't answer Skype chat while I'm doing this because it'll screw up my video. So thank you for everyone that's Skyping me, but no. All right, you know what? We're going to pick up 214 because they have been on hold technically longer than the show has been running tonight. I know.
Wow.
They've been on hold a long time. 214, who has been on hold for 116 minutes. What's happening?
Hello, Mark, Patricia, and Peanut. Jan and Dallas here. I listened last week to the show, and I wanted to personally call in and thank Zulu One for the keychain, Flat Earth keychain he sent me. I got it on my keychain in about 2 seconds. And there was also something else special, Flat Earth, that was only meant for a woman. And I want to thank him very much for that, too. And I remember when you did that show, Mark, in the ice storm. And you're just an absolute trooper.
And thank you, by the way, Jan. That I wasn't making that story up, guys. It actually happened. Whereas, like, the power is out. And
Well, you didn't really eat what you said.
what,
you
dryer lint?
Dryer lint.
We were poor, Patricia.
Did you?
Dryer lint was a luxury. And there's a difference. There's grades of dryer lint. There's cotton. There's polyester. There's wool. Ugh.
Right.
Anyway,
all right.
hey, what else, Jan?
Well, I was thinking back on that time because you were relatively new. You would have done one from your hospital bed, but you couldn't have done that one. But I thought that was amazing, and I think Zulu One and I didn't know each other, of course, but I think we've been with you from the very beginning, listening to every show, and I didn't know. Do you guys, if you thought futured ahead enough, if you would be taking guests like Stefan and Master Gunner? Suggestions?
What was the question there? If
and
to have guests.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, we will have guests. In fact, we do have a guest. We're not going to tell you who it is. We do have one guest lined up, but we have to wait until their book comes out. He initially wanted to be on, and he's like, I can't do it until the book comes out. It's like, all right, fine, we'll wait for you. So
Oh, cool.
I do have to say, Jan, your voice is so melodic and soothing and beautiful, and I'm sure everyone tells you that. But I've been doing the show with Mark. I think maybe we've done 3 or 4 shows, and you haven't called any of those times. And I'm like, where is Jan? Because I would listen to the show even when I wasn't on the show. When Karen was doing the show, I still was listening, and I would always like when you called in. And so now I feel great that you called in.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I've been listening. I just didn't have anything to say.
Oh.
And so...
That's the best time to not call. Very wise, in fact.
I did have something very nice to say to Zulu One, and I would like to say hello to John and Jerome and William and our Flat Earth friends in Canada and Australia, and to Kevin in Vermont. And just it's been a great show, and thank you, Patricia. And I'm glad that things have worked out for you in Houston, and that you get your power right away.
Hey,
Thank you.
Jan,
You're welcome.
before I let you go, I've got to ask. Did you only place Peanut? Oh yeah, but don't forget to say hi to Peanut, by the way.
I did.
Oh, did you say hi to Peanut?
Were you not listening?
Well,
Were
no.
you not listening?
No, I really don't most of the time. No, that's not true. That's not true. No, because I was reading the chat. I have to do a lot of things now. It's different before, where I could just sleep.
Whenever I look down, I'm always reading the chat too. So.
Did you were on the phone lines when we were doing the pre-show, weren't you? Were you listening then?
Yes. To most of it, I was listening to music too.
Oh, okay.
Got a question?
No. I just I was just curious because every once in a while, we'll turn on the phone lines early, and while we're kind of warming up on our side, if you guys want to listen to what we're doing in the background, you can. All you have to do is call into the phone line, and we won't pick you up. You'll just be there in the background with us. We can't hear you, but you'll be able to hear us.
I recommend it. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Anything else?
Right. You guys have a great week. No, that's fine.
All right.
And
bye,
hello,
Jan.
Again. Bye.
What? I was listening. I was reading. You guys, shut up. I was reading the chat. I was reading. It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't matter. Don't judge me. Whatever. Let's go to 718 out of New York. 718. What's happening?
Wow, is it 2016 already?
Yes, it is.
I haven't listened for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and I forced myself to stay up tonight to listen live, and Patricia's here, which is such a nice surprise and very serendipitous. Nice to see you again, Patricia. You're looking really well. Couple of things, Mark. Chris and Susan Sarandon were husband and wife, not brother and sister.
Ah, crap.
His name when they divorced.
Sorry,
Okay.
my fault. Yep.
And Fright Night was not only the best vampire movie of the 80s, it's the best vampire movie, period.
Ooh.
In my humble opinion.
That is a ringing
we can
endorsement.
Fight about that another time.
Were you? I was about to say you must have been. Now you probably weren't a huge fan of the remake with Colin Farrell.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that Chris Sarandon did a cameo in it, but it's not a patch on the original.
Right.
The original is a very clever script. Chris Sarandon was hugely sexy. The whole thing, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and he's 70-odd years old now, and he's still sexy.
Oh,
so
it was. It was a very sexy vampire movie. Definitely, a lot of seduction there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Also, I have to pull you up on something else. I think I may have been listening longer than even Zulu and Jan, because I remember when Zulu first called into the show, and you had like 3 very bizarre calls that day, and one of which was him. And I left a very pointed comment in the comment section, to which both you and Patricia replied. So if anyone has the time to go back in the archives, they can probably find that.
All right. I did not know.
Yeah, I am a very long time listener.
Oh.
Now, this last bit.
Well, thank you. I
I think
appreciate
you'll
that.
agree with me. All right, no problem. Patricia, I think you'll agree with me that there have been some very messy chapters in Flat Earth. Yes? Very messy.
Yes.
And I'm going
Yes.
to ask you a question, and it's not going to be disrespectful, but do gird your loins. Here it goes. When Antonio died, was there any part of you that was sad, or did you just feel like the karmic wheel was in motion?
I was shocked when I heard about it. I
Mhm.
couldn't believe it happened because when I was with him, it was such a short time, but he wasn't sick. I didn't know he had cancer. There was nothing happening with that. But then he went on a tirade when I came back to the US of lots of crazy videos about me. And I think because I saw some of those videos, he was hyping himself up with such anger, he may have been causing himself to get sick. I didn't know he was sick, and then somebody told me he was saying he had cancer, and then next thing you know, he said he beat cancer, and then next thing you know, he was dead. How did I feel? I felt shock. People I knew told me, oh, karma, 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 which I don't know if I really believe in, but I just felt shocked. I did not feel sad. Maybe somebody might look down on me for not feeling sad, but I felt shocked. Even today, if I think about it, I feel shocked. That's really it.
Yeah. It was a very kind of destabilizing period for a lot of people. There was a lot of mess in Flat Earth, but I still stuck around, even though, I've had this conversation with Mark many a time about I'm not completely sold on everything to do with Flat Earth, and I'm still one of the people that believes in planets, but I'm not going to die on that hill of debating Flat Earth, because there's so much other information that you guys bring and share that's relevant to me and very important. And that's why I stuck around for the best part of a decade. And obviously,
That's
all
an
that
open mind.
stuff. And the
You
jab
don't
that
know
we all...
when,
I'm sorry, go
there's
ahead.
so many things that are facets of the whole flat earth experience, including other what you might call conspiracies, and no one's forced to swallow everything whole. It's up to the individual to figure out what resonates with them, because the bottom line on many of it is we really don't know. We just know that what we've been told isn't true.
Right. And my opinion is that I'm precisely the kind of person that you do want in Flat Earth, because I need to hold people's feet to the fire. You don't want someone that's a complete cheat and just kind of believes everything. You want someone that challenges you a little bit, right?
Agreed. If anybody comes up to me and said, oh, I heard a video of yours, or I watched a flat earth video and I'm a flat earther now, I'm like, wait, you got to go back, because you can't just accept it like that, because you're just being another sort of follower. You've got to do some investigation. So
yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Well, I know a lot of people want to get through and stuff. I'm not going to hog the line, but it is lovely to speak to you and see you again, Patricia. And also one last thing, because I haven't seen you for so long. Are all of your cats still with us?
All of the cats are still here. They went to the UK,
fantastic.
they came back, and they're still all here. One of them is sitting behind me right now, of my 3, and they're all in the room here with me. So, yeah, they're all doing well.
Well done. Fantastic.
Treasuring
All right,
every moment with them.
Okay. Let me give a quick shout out to Jan, because I wasn't expecting to hear her. I always love her mellifluous voice, her dulcet tones, and so forth. And the usual people I usually shout out, Alex, and so forth and so on. And Peanut and Mark. All right, that's it. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for calling.
Very pleasant conversation there.
Let's go out to, you know what? Let's do New Mexico, because I heard that's a place, and we'll see if we end up giving it back after the purge. What's happening?
Don't stop believing. I couldn't resist.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, thank you. It's a good thing I don't do this all the time. Just on Mark's show. It's great.
Or for a
He
living.
lets me-
But okay.
That's right, or for a living. Absolutely. But hey, Mark. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Peanut. Hey, I did. Mark, you're right on Journey. I got to see him maybe, maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And I'll never forget, they came to, the place we do call New Mexico, but it's not real.
Yeah.
And they were outside, and they opened up for Def Leppard, and they did their whole set, and a huge storm came up, and they canceled the rest of the show.
Oh, no.
But they were gracious enough to do the whole show over again a couple months later. So I got to see him twice on one ticket.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
that guy does sound exactly like him.
Oh, yeah. He is a dead
He does
freaking
sound
ringer.
like
If you had your eyes closed, you'd be like, oh, it's Steve freaking Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Amazing. In the phone, I couldn't resist the phone topic. Yeah, because Patricia brought up the payphones, and that was a recent conversation. A lot of people our age I always get in conversations like, "Where's the payphones in town?" And there's still a few, and we kind of trade like where they are, just so we could go like, "Hey, wow, there is one over there." But I do missing the payphone. I miss using it. I do miss using that. That was a lot of fun. And, it was always fun if you didn't have any
They were so dirty,
change.
though. When you
That's
had to
true.
touch them, they were like all gross. It's like when you have to pump your own gas, how the pump is so disgusting, too.
Wow.
I'm not a
I
fan.
know. Peanut's dying. It's like, you don't know dirt, honey. Peanut's got stories.
I never thought of that. Oh, boy. That's great. Yeah. And on the dead presidents, too. Wow. You should look into it, Patricia. There's a lot of great stories, especially conspiracies. And I always like the stories of the ones who didn't die. That's even more fascinating. Like Teddy Roosevelt was giving a speech, and somebody took a shot at him from the crowd, and it went into his breast pocket, from what I remember, and there was a Bible in there, and it stopped the bullet, and he kept going. And I think Andrew Jackson. Yeah, Andrew Jackson, somebody came to the White House looking for him, and they came and got him. He came to the door, and somebody took a point-blank range at him, and he ended up surviving that and beating the guy with I think, like, whatever he had there. So, there's some really cool stories.
Yeah.
Reagan, though, is kind of creepy. If anybody's ever heard this story, apparently they drove him around after he got shot to like delay the hospital, and also I guess they gave him cold blood, and so it's a miracle he survived. But that's the way the story goes. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on that.
If any of that ever really happened, right?
That is true. I am a sucker for American history, but maybe you're right. Got a good point. Yeah, and then you guys were mentioning that radiation story, and I saw something about a fake space story here. These guys are trying to do, I guess they're researching this metal haloid, I can't even pronounce this, perovskite or something. And the headline goes that they're trying to make this type of material that is self-healing, so that when it is in space, the radiation will not affect it as bad. But then, Patricia, you mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and this story I kind of like too. I guess the Japanese don't know about this because they're sending up these little wooden satellites, which, man, in my opinion, would get really nuked from the sun. But it's funny, these stories they contradict each other, and they're not keeping track of like who's doing what from one week to the next. But and I don't know if you caught those satellites, those wooden satellites.
Yeah, I did.
And they were cute, but did you see the size of them? That was one thing I wanted to bring up. They were like a Rubik's Cube size.
Yeah. It's just
It
was just a novelty idea, and I mean, it got some headlines, but it was so dumb from an engineering standpoint. So dumb.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, wow, you guys are on fire tonight as usual, and I just really enjoy Tuesday nights. Thanks so much.
All right.
And shout out to Jan and the wonderful woman that called from New York before, and me, and it was so good to hear from both of them, and of course Amy in Syracuse, Matt in Temple, and Jesse and Brittany, and of course Patricia and Mark and, of course, Peanut. And all of Patricia's cats, too. Keep it flat, everybody.
All right. See you, man. Have a good one.
All right.
You know what? I want to pick up 646 because if I wait till the next break, he might have too much whiskey in him. It's always a smart move. 646, what's happening, man? Where are you?
Hey, man, I'm on a jerry-rigged system upstate in the Catskills. Can you hear me?
I can, perfectly.
Totally, perfectly.
That's perfect because I don't have any. Like, I'm actually speaking to the same mic that you do. That Death Star mic that you have.
Yeah.
My drummer bought one. He's like, try this. So I'm like, okay. So I'm not getting anything in my ears, but as long as I'm not too loud, I'm gonna be loud anyway. So whatever. But as long as you can hear me, how are you guys doing? You good?
Good. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. What do you think about all this stuff? Isn't it kind of crazy? I've been watching like a lot of stuff. Like, you know, you always get these little incidences where you think like, oh man, maybe it's there. Maybe it's the breaking point. Maybe everybody is actually figuring out the thing, you know, the thing about Earth.
When Elon supposedly put the car in space, I thought everyone was going to just get it at that moment, but I was wrong.
Yeah, I know. I call it go ahead.
Well, this year they're so distracted. I mean, during an election year, it is tough because the polarization, the red team and blue team, they're just freaking vibrating. They're so anxious about it. So it's going to be tough, but I think we can sneak in there.
I know. I'm just like, I've been watching a lot more stuff, and it's just like, it's you know, you get you read the tea leaves. You know, I'm on a bunch of social media, and I look at a lot of stuff, and you kind of just see like just percentages of things that are actually coming out and actually being allowed to being shown. Maybe I'm in my echo chamber or whatever, but it's like, when is it going to happen? And I have this whole thing. I call it perpetual maybe. In other words, we're perpetually maybe going to see something happen forever, which is like depressing. But I'm like, oh man, come on, man. You guys almost have this. You almost have it. And like, there's everybody coming in on every single side. You see even people like coming out there and like, dude, you're almost there. You're almost there. Just do it a little bit more, and you've got it, right? You know?
Yeah.
Again, I'm in a hippie camp in Catskills, north of the city. So like, I might just be being really too positive about the whole thing, but I don't know. That's kind of where my head is.
Yeah, gotcha. No, I mean, it's very, very possible. You know, we've been doing a lot of stuff lately. Quick shout out. Hopefully he'll put it on his channel soon. You know, when David, I know it's been a few weeks, when he got on Roseanne's podcast. That was awesome. I've got to watch it whatever format's it on. We're in a lot, or the fact that Candace Owens is now doubling down. The fact that she's doubling down again on us during an election year, that says something. I would thought she'd be completely consumed by the election, but like, no, she's full-blown truther. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really amazing to see. And like,
I don't think that's fake either, staged or fake. I think
no,
she's saying what she really thinks.
Yeah. We're bound to get some of them. I mean, we've got quite a little list of celebs. By the way, shout out to the best tennis player in the world who just made the quarterfinals. One of ours, Novak Djokovic from Serbia. He's in London right now, beating the crap out of people. We'll see if he can keep doing it.
Novak.
Yeah. The fact that he was.
The vac
yeah,
is a joke.
He let himself get.
Wow.
He let himself get deported from Australia, which was awesome. I'm so happy for him. Yeah. I'd love to talk to him one day. Love to.
I mean, he knows about you. He knows about all of us. Like, I guarantee you that. I'm just like looking across the whole spectrum. They all know like what's going on, and like they're waiting for their moment to come out and talk.
I know.
Like, Candace came out really early.
Yeah.
You know, she came out really early. You know, and like, you know, Stefan from the Deftones, like, you know, he's in a rock band that's famous in a certain, you know, spectrum of, but like Candace is like, she's in the mainstream sort of bit, and she actually came out and said something that you wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it would probably happen close to the election or whatever, but you know, I'm like, that's what I'm watching now. I'm like, okay, when are these high profile people going to finally grow some balls and come out and say something?
Come on in, the water's fine. Jump on in. We did it.
Damn right.
I think
Damn right.
Red Team is probably going to have a crisis of conscience if this thing keeps going by November, to where all of a sudden they'll be like, okay, because again, if you believe that whatever, you know, the biggest election in the country was rigged, I mean, if you firmly believe that, then all of a sudden that opens the door up. That becomes the gateway to everything else. It's like, well, if this is absolutely rigged, what else? And yeah, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what you have is you have the dominoes. The domino effect is in effect right now. Most of us have been slugging through this community for fucking 20 years. Like, when are you going to get it?
Right.
When are you going to see it? And like, we're all now just like, I don't know if that's the perpetual maybe. I'm just like, okay, well, I can't wait for it anymore. I'm just going to be like, well, I'm going to sit back and watch it.
Right.
I'm going to sit back and watch it.
Yep.
And when are you going to hit it? When are you going to do that?
Yep. Hope springs eternal. I've got hope for this. I don't. It's just a feeling that this thing's gonna. I'm a happy ending kind of guy sometimes.
All right. Well, I love you guys. Patricia, always pleasure. Mark, whatever, man. See ya.
All right. Have a good one. See you, man. All right.
Aren't we going to a break
We are
now?
going to our final break. And then when we come back, we
Wow.
will take your phone calls. So if you haven't called in before, I'd love to pick you up. Right now, I'm looking at 530-657. I might pick up 657 first. 321.
If you've never called before, now's
Well, I got to
the
pick up the
time.
one from Germany first because they've been only on hold 3 minutes. Germany, if you're still there in 5 minutes, I'm going to pick you up, okay? So let's go to that final break, shall we?
Okay.
Alpha 33, target is on property, approaching food trailer. Engage Delta 9. Roger. Alpha 33 descending.
Hey, I know you.
They might be listening.
CIA?
Maybe.
Aliens?
Probably?
Globalists?
Definitely. I may have already said too much.
We have what you need.
Really?
It's flat
I'm listening.
and round
Go on.
and delicious.
Tell me the secret. I see the truth in it.
I thought you might.
This truly is a special place.
Yeah, we like to think so.
Will you be here tomorrow?
We move around quite a bit.
Ah, a mobile command center. A strong strategy. I like where your head's at.
Anything else?
I was never here.
Package intercepted. Copy that, Alpha 33. Come on back, let's eat.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. It's you and me, the always perfect Patricia Steere, and sometimes Peanut. He's up there in the corner, always moving, always doing something. You should find one that's smoking a cigarette, although I'm not sure we can show that on air. Could we? I think we could. Probably could. We can go about that.
Can a peanut smoke a cigarette?
He
though?
can. That's for sure. Yeah, he's doing it right now.
Maybe we can get a cigarette pack that's walking. That'd be cool.
I think we catch them. You know what?
Switch it up.
I'd do it. If he could find it, I'd do it. Okay, phone number to call in is 848-222-2480. That's 848-222-2480. And yeah, we're going to go for Germany first because, hey, they're from Germany. I think. Let's find out. Are you really from Germany? You, right now?
Yeah. Good morning.
Hey, how are you? What time is it over there?
It's past 5 in the morning.
That's not terrible.
No, it's and it's summer, so it's already dawned. I called in last year, I think 1 year ago, something like this, and I always want to call in, but it's so early, so I can't call in that often that I want to. And I live in an apartment with other people, so I can't really talk loud in the morning. But today they are not here, so I can call in.
Oh, good. Good. Hey,
the last time I called in, yes.
Oh, I was about to say, Peanut spent some time in Germany. What town are you in?
What town?
Yeah.
I'm from South Germany, like near Munich.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes.
Right
And
on.
where was Peanut living?
Oh, Peanut was in a number of places, but the first one that comes to mind is Regensburg.
Oh, yeah, that's really close to me. I lived there for 3 years.
Oh, cool.
In Regensburg.
Wow.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
So last time I called in, I want to keep it short. Last time I called in, I said I think that the globe lie is part of the creation, and I don't really hear a lot of people saying this in the flat Earth community. But in one of your flat Earth clues, you were saying this, so it's not really that new that I thought it was. So you already have it covered in one of your flat Earth clues that you also that there's a possibility that the globe lie is part of the creation.
Right. Part of the test. Go ahead.
Yes, and I wanted to say 2 other things. And one was in your interviews, people I saw in the comment sections of your interviews that some people say you always say the same, and but it's obviously that you have to say the same because the topic is the same.
Yeah.
And the talking points are the same.
Yeah.
But I love the interview.
The audience is always different,
Yeah.
so no one really knows it's the same except those of us who already are in the know.
After the first few years, it was tough. It was tough to. I mean, you do the same questions over and over to where I said, "Hey, look, if you can." After like 3 or 4 years, I said, "If you can ask me something I haven't heard, gold star for you."
Yes.
But and to your point, I also go ahead.
Yeah, but I wanted to say there's always something new that I haven't heard. Like, for example, in one interview, you were saying, why is there dust on the moon? I never thought about this. Like, why is there even dust in exactly that amount of dust that the people can walk on it?
Yeah.
It could also be like 10 meters of dust, so the people couldn't walk on the moon, and it's almost like the beach.
Yeah.
Like
it's
exactly so much sand that people can walk on it. It's funny.
And yet they never dug. No one takes a shovel and digs down. It's like, okay, so how deep is the ash?
Yes.
It's like one shovel. It's like you should be able to hit whatever's down there. They never even tried. It's like, well, that's weird. That's one of the things I do.
I wonder why they decided on having there be dust, ash, whatever, as the ground of the moon when they made that set. I guess because it's different than Earth.
Yeah. Ash is an easy thing to dump onto plywood and make it whatever you want. Put some stage rocks and but thank you for that.
And I guess they wanted a picture of the footstep.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly it. They couldn't use sand, so they thought of something else. That's exactly probably that thought process.
Ash is perfect, and you can get ash in a lot of places. So good one. Yeah.
But what burned to cause the ash?
Right.
And I wanted to say that there's always something new also with David Weiss, with his interviews. There's always something new I didn't heard before. Like, for example, he was talking about the sunset, and he said he filmed a sunset during the weather, and he's calling it the 9/11 weather, when there's no cloud in the sky.
Right.
And I never heard about this before. Like, for example, on 9/11, there were no clouds in the sky. So I think they probably pre-produced the videos with the planes, and there were no planes at the day when they attacked.
Yeah.
So there were no clouds.
And there was
no clouds in the sky.
Hurricane.
Yeah. There was a big storm.
Hurricane
Big storm offshore. Yeah. And by the way, we have to be very careful. You got to be very careful when you talk about 9/11. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, but so there, when you have no clouds in the sky, you can't compare pictures later.
Right.
Because
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Which is, it's way better, kind of like the constellations in space, right? Better to, it's like, okay, if there's no stars, then there's no stars ever, because then everything matches up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same with the stars and the clouds. You can't compare anything if they aren't in the pictures.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say this, that in your interviews there's always something new, and I like this about the interviews.
Oh, good.
So
Thank you.
Always watch them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And can I add
That was a
something?
really nice call. Thank you for calling in.
Appreciate it. You have any shout? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to everyone in the Flat Earth community and everyone who's listening from Germany. I don't know if there are any other people from Germany listening to this show, but if they are, I want to shout out to them.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
And have a nice day.
All right, you too, man.
Yes.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice. Don't get a lot of calls from Germany.
That was a nice call.
I mean, again, he started that at 3. Started our show at 3 a.m. over there. Ooh.
Wow.
Let's go to, I don't think I know this one, or maybe I do. 657 out of California. What's happening? 657.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Wow. Mark Sargent, what's up, man?
Hey, man. What's happening?
First time caller, not only to your show, but first time caller ever to anything like this ever. I'm kind of a private person. I don't.
Have you ever used a phone before?
I have used a phone before. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so Mark, I got a story about myself I want to tell you so that maybe you'll understand better where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I think you, Mark, will especially understand.
Okay.
I grew up in Southern California, surfer kid, middle class, surf skate, screwed around a lot. Dad got sick and died. I was 19, so I started growing marijuana with my friend, and that's how I kind of funded my lifestyle in my mid-20s.
Nice. Good for you.
And I was really good at it. Yeah, I was really good at it. It kind of reminds me of your fireworks background.
Damn straight, baby.
So-
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Ride or die.
Yeah, you know, just doing whatever.
Yeah.
So did a lot of traveling with the extra cash that I had to spend, and had a lot of time to read. And that was kind of like back when those bookstores were big. You know, remember the Blockbuster? What the hell were they called?
Well, Barnes and
The
Noble.
big bookstores. Yeah, fine. Yeah, in like late 90s, right?
Yeah.
So reading a lot, traveling a lot, and then in the spring of 2001, I read Bill Cooper's.
I know it.
The
Pale Horse. Yep, I know it.
Yeah, the Behold the Pale. Okay, so read that one. Interesting stuff. And then in June, I got a hold of David Icke's The Biggest Secret, and I read that in like June, July, and it was a lot of information with all the this person related to that person and going back however long. So I read it again, and I finished that book, man, on September 1st of 2001.
Uh-oh.
I read it twice. I was 30.
Wow.
30 years old. And so then when the 11th came around, I knew exactly what I was fucking looking at.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, so like you, I was in. I knew that something was wrong, and I knew that, there were conspiracies and all of that.
Yeah.
And the stories they told us.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, so that's where I'm coming from. That's my understanding of all of this over the past, I don't know, what is it, 30 years now?
Yeah. Good for you. That's awesome.
And so anyway, man, so Mark, your Flat Earth Clues was the thing that tipped me off to this whole story that we've been told. You're right about, I went through the Reader's Digest version and then went beyond that, as we do.
Yeah.
And so I guess, I don't know. Thanks, Mark, for pointing all that shit out.
Happy to help. I'm glad it was part of your journey.
Yeah, well, anyway, the thing, I guess, when we're talking to the Globetards, I really have my big three.
Okay.
We're not moving. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
There is no curve. So I think those two are interchangeable. Like if you want one to be one and one to be number two, it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
And then thirdly, no vacuum adjacent to a pressurized atmosphere.
Right.
Without a container.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I just no.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Like we're done. You want to talk about the tides, or you want to talk about the eclipse, or you want to talk about whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like what? We're not moving.
Yeah.
We're not moving.
Yep.
I'm in. Oh, by the way, the 657 number, man.
Yeah.
That's the number from California, but I got some money when my mom passed away, and I moved to Mexico, and I built a hotel on the beach in southern Baja, and then I sold that in 2005, and I moved to Bali to be a surf bum. But then this German guy hired me to babysit his German what are they called? Like his hotel guests.
Yeah.
And take them out into the Bali waves and make sure they don't drown.
Yeah.
And so I did that for 5 years. And then I moved, and then I met my flight attendant girlfriend at the time in 2010, and she lived in Hong Kong, and I was a surf bum in Bali, and we totally hit it off, but because it was the same time of day, even though we were in different places, and she was a flight attendant.
Yeah.
So she'd fly down to Bali and hang out with me on the island, and we just had a fantastic, totally, paperback novel romance.
Yeah.
On Bali, and then I moved to Hong Kong and lived with her and her family. And I was an English teacher to a bunch of rich Hong Kong kids for 5 years. And then from the money from my hotel in Mexico, I moved back to America with my family because we were there, bro, in Hong Kong in 2019.
Oh, sure.
When the shit went down.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand about that protest is that Hong Kong is 7 million people. And when the communist government came in and said, hey, everybody, yeah, you can vote, but you can vote for this puppet or this puppet or this puppet, and that's it. And what the general public doesn't understand is that the Hong Kong people still consider themselves British subjects.
Yeah.
They speak Cantonese. They don't even speak the same language.
Yeah.
And so there was this huge protest, and 3 million people showed up. 3 million out of 7 showed up at the Capitol. I mean, that's something, I don't know how many hundreds of millions that equals showing up in D.C.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
They shut the whole frickin' city down, the hub of Asia.
Yeah.
They shut it down. There were tents on the street in front of I don't know. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Me and my
I hear you, man.
wife went down there at the time.
Hey, I hate
Anyway,
well,
go ahead, Mark.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I love your life story. Or at least part of your life story.
Yeah, me too. I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
I know.
It sounds
Living
exciting.
the dream. However,
Really?
it is a call-in show, and I got to let you go and pick you up sometime later. I'd love to talk to you offline if you ever get the chance.
Yeah, Mark. I've been around and I've seen so much, and the whole thing, the reason they pulled out this whole COVID-19 thing
Gotta be careful
was
there.
because of the protests in Hong Kong.
Ah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's what I've heard
Anyway,
you say.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've
I
heard that
gotcha.
said.
All right, man.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no,
Anyway,
you're fine.
I was there at the beginning of it.
Groovy.
If you'd ever like to hear about it, I was in Hong
would.
Kong at the time.
I'll tell you what. Send me an email. You can send anytime you want. My email address is easy to find online, but it's msargent23@comcast.net. You can literally just type into Google what is Mark Sargent's email. You'll find it, and I'll pick you up and we'll wrap. Okay.
Right on, Mark. So much has happened. Thanks.
All right.
Hey, I love your show. Right on, Patricia.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk soon, man.
That guy is so interesting. hope
I
he
know.
calls
Talk
back.
about living the frickin' dream. I mean, he never
I know.
wavered. He just that path that was laid out for him. He was like, no, I'm going with this. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear people that they didn't get cornered and
He lived.
he didn't.
He lived and is living.
He didn't take a left turn anywhere. He just
Right. He didn't take a left turn into a cubicle.
No, he
and
did
rot.
not. I was in a cubicle for a bit. Okay.
You broke out, and look at you now.
I did break out. Let's pick up one more at least before.
There's carousel princess.
Wait. I gotta. Who do I grab? San Diego, New York.
somebody we've never spoken to before.
I don't know if I've talked to this guy. I'm gonna go all the way down here. We're gonna go 315. Have I talked to you before? Hey, 315.
Hey guys.
Hey, have you ever called in before?
Yeah, under a different number. I used to be the original Flat Magic. Patricia probably remember.
Oh,
that's fine.
I do. Hi. In fact, I uploaded a video that Stars Are Souls and you and I were on my new channel, Patricia Steere. This is Lonnie, by the way. So, yeah. Hi. Long time no talk.
Oh, I thought you were. Yeah. Yeah. I just called to say hi, and I haven't called in a very long time. I just want to, I don't know, say something funny. There was an old episode a long time ago with cats on Christmas, and it was horrible. Even Mark said, never do that again. And it was like, meow, 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 meow. And just want you to know that it was like 2015, 2016. I was going to kill myself that day. And I was going through some dark times. That's not a joke. And yeah, I just want to say, just glad to hear you guys back on the air, and I give you all my support. That was really it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. Keep it up, and stay strong.
All right. Thanks, man. Talk soon.
Bye. Actually, don't think that's the guy I was referring to. There's another guy who was into magic in the Flat Earth named Lonnie. But anyway.
Well, I think we got to take a shot here and go straight to 845. Give him some time because he's simulcasting us. And by the way, if you don't want to listen to our chat room over on Mark K. Sargent, you can always go to Zulu 1 and take your chances there, whatever's happening there. 845.
A whole lot of nice people. Hi, Zulu chat.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. With Patricia Steere.
With Patricia Steere. New York, New York. Hey.
Hey.
Wow, good show. I like the callers. Man, that dude has been everywhere and has lived life.
Yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
Yep. No regrets there.
Wow.
So, good for him.
No way. I mean, maybe some little ones, but no way.
Yeah, maybe some little ones.
That's crazy. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to start off first by saying I don't think she's been listening longer than me. I've been listening since the very first show, and I didn't call until the 29th episode. So I don't know. I don't know. Just saying, man.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say because there are some longtime listeners, late-time callers. People that wait a long time before they call. I mean, you've heard them on the show, right? It's like, I've been listening for 4 years or 5 years, never called in. It's like, all right, and I'll take her word for it. But at the same time, well, you know what? I'm gonna look up that episode and see if I can find her in the comments section. I bet she's there.
Maybe.
You never know.
That was Brian's episode. I'm sorry, Master Gunner's episode.
Yes, that could have been Master Gunner's episode.
Yes, it was.
Go to bed.
Yeah. Synchronicities. I love the show. Hello, Patricia. Sorry, just being all nerdy and loving on the show. Hi. I like it when you respond to the new callers and stuff and break their chops. Like when he said, "I've never called anything. Have you used the phone?" I lost it.
Hey, at least
that was fantastic.
At least we didn't have to yell at him and say, "Turn it down! Turn down the show!"
right. With the radio on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical. Yeah, I called twice from the hospital.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Pauly Shore and NASA guys who lived there for a freaking year.
Yeah.
In their biodome.
Like,
what are they doing? Like, it's funny to me how people are like, yeah, see, they're doing science, they're doing it. Yeah, well, maybe they did science while they were locked in there. They're trying to be efficient or what have you, but like the general
Grew lettuce
population-
probably because, you know.
Yeah. They're gonna grow lettuce for the first time for the 11th time. You know, yeah. It's
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, ironically, this fly me to the moon thing.
Right, with Scarlett
What do you
Johansson.
think their angle is?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
that,
I'm gonna watch it. but-
It's kind of a remake
Yeah.
of a British version of the British version of this film came out several years ago, and I think Ron Perlman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. That's why I think they did this. It's like nobody watched the British version, and
But in the end, the movie is just space programming. Even if it seems like, you know, they're telling you that they can fake the thing, they end up not being able to fake it, basically, although I haven't seen it, and end up going to the moon. So it's just more space programming to let you know that even if you're starting to think that maybe they faked going to the moon, or if you believe that load of you know what,
Right.
that it was the space race with the Russians and they had to fake it, but then they went later on. If you're starting to have any little cracks in what they've given you as truth, they just bring you right back around to, nope, we went. The end.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had to go. We couldn't fake it. It cost more money to do the paperwork than to go.
Hey,
or whatever the hell that asshole said. I hate you.
Peanut, look it up for me. I just
that?
thought of it. It's the actor that played Ron Weasley in Harry Potter. He was one of the leads in it. See what Ron Weasley was in on IMDb over the last 5-6 years, and what fake moon mission it was called. I can't remember the name. I think Ron Perlman was in
That's
it too.
the ginger dude?
Yeah, the ginger dude from Harry Potter. I'm 90% sure that's who one of the guys was. He played one of the astronauts that was on cables in the soundstage, because they actually faked, did the whole thing where they were jumping around the ashy set. Way better than Capricorn.
Yeah, that
1.
was a good thought before when he said that about the ashy stuff.
Yeah, why was exactly
Yeah,
like
it's
4 to
definitely
6
for-
inches
for
deep?
the visuals.
Yeah, the visuals.
Yep, the footprint. And of course, even if you didn't have a shovel, wouldn't you reach down with your hand and like see like what you're standing on, what it is? We just flew here in a tin can. What the hell?
Yeah, the movie, by the way, was called, it was 9 years ago. It was called Moonwalkers from 2015. I watched it. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can... Moonwalkers. Yeah, you can find it on Netflix. And that movie was basically translated into this film with Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. And I can't remember the other people. But right now I'm trying to...
So they're tasked with faking it and then actually go?
Yeah, in fact, the plot is for Moonwalkers, just so you guys know, after failing to locate the legendary Stanley Kubrick, an unstable CIA agent must instead team up with a seedy rock band manager to develop the biggest con of all time, staging the moon landing. Yeah, that is this movie that Scarlett Johansson's in. It was just done 9 years ago, and nobody watched this one. But everyone will watch this one will get a lot of theater play because they've got big stars and there's nothing else in the theater. So hopefully, we'll cross our fingers.
Right.
We'll see if Flat Earth Hollywood what they can do outside the theater doing street activism. That should be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's almost time to go. Oh my gosh, we're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah. Do your jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got a quote.
What you got?
Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. You know who that's from?
No.
Willie Nelson.
Oh, of course.
Oh wow.
I like Willie. I always
I
like
kind of
Willie.
do too, although I don't like country music. He's just a classic. Kind of like I like
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings. Same
Give me-
reason. Don't like
Yeah,
country.
weird.
I kind of like. I like them.
Give
out
me
of respect.
shout out, Sulu.
Shout out to Germany, first off, getting up early. That was good.
Yes. Hello, Germany again. Call back.
Yeah. Mark Sargent, Patricia Steere, Peanut Gallery, Master Gunner, Karen B, NDB. Karen B, Ice Queen, and tomorrow BST on my channel, me and NDB. That'll be fun. And the chat, just had a good time. Everybody was fun tonight.
Cool. Right on. All right.
Yeah.
We will be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel, weather permitting. Say goodnight, Patricia.
I will be having some electricity next time around.
Nice.
And please subscribe to my channel, which is called Patricia Steere, just like you see it on the screen. Please go subscribe to it because it's a small, tiny little channel. And it needs to grow into at least a medium-sized channel.
Right on.
So anyway, good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. See you next week.
Say good night, Zulu.
Good night, Zulu.
Good enough. Peanut, well.
Good enough.
Yeah, that's a lot of smoke coming out of Peanut. So we're gonna roll music, which is Alex Lowry, who we don't really care about, and we're gonna roll credits and hot sex. Good night, everybody.
ever been. Wound up chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. Love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Paige needs to get into her PJs with her cup of cocoa and her 6 marshmallows. Night, Mark.
Mike Jack. Jack.
You realize it's the same link every week. It never changes.
Yeah, I know. I should paste it somewhere, I think. Soviet Union sign off. Duh. And then they would flash this thing on the screen where we go to a dead air. They would say, turn your television off. Like, da, da, da.